Happy Writer Wednesday, writers. Nailah here. But before I get into today's Writer Wednesday video, let me just say that this Friday, April the 9th, 2021 is big for us. Look Better in Writing, the workbook is coming to paperback. So right now it's currently digital at lookbetterinwriting.com/books. But this Friday, you'll be able to purchase it on Amazon. What? That means you can have the book, you can hold it in your hands, you can actually write it out with your pen and pencil. Right now you can fill it out on your computers, so you can still have that information handy. And a lot of, I was gonna say clients, customers, they still find that information to be very, very useful. But, some people just like holding books in their hands, which I totally get. So I wanted to make sure that I have that resource for you if that's your zhuzh. And this Friday, yay! This Friday, the Look Better in Writing workbook will be available for purchase, the paperback version that is. So the long title is Look Better in Writing, a quick and easy guide to punctuation. That is the book where I break down and highlight all 14 punctuation marks according to standard American English. I'm breaking down commas, I'm breaking down semicolons, which we're talking about today, breaking down colons, exclamation points. What are some of the things that we use but we don't use? Brackets for my academicians out there, those who are participating in academic writing or just writing academic papers, etc. So yes, that is the book where I'm like, okay, I do the research for you. Instead of scrolling through Google all night, write your paper, skim through the book. The book is the guide. So you can use Google if you please, but I've done the research all for you. So I've done a little bit of Googling, but more so I've done some academic research for you, looked at all of the sources, and I put together a handy dandy workbook full of punctuation knowledge. That way you can write your papers with ease if you're a college student, and you can send your professional emails without looking foolish, if you are in the corporate America space. So I'm reaching to multiple audiences here because I'm like, listen, we all need to hashtag look better in writing, okay? And that's another purpose of this video is to really, really break down grammar and writing tips for the everyday writer, but it derived from the book and the overall mission of the Look Better in Writing brand. Enough about that. Okay, let's get into today's topic. We're talking about semicolons. And the last Writer Wednesday video, I believe we talked about one rule to use one rule for a comma in writing or something like that. So there are like lots. And in the book, I talk about 3. And the same thing here, I talk about, I believe 3. I have the digital version in front of me. It's on my laptop. I talk about 3 semicolons. So 3 commas and 3 semicolons because there's so many. So these are the most common or the typical rules that people search every day, basically. And the one rule that we're going to talk about today with the semicolon is using that particular punctuation mark, the semicolon, to create a pause and merge 2 relatable clauses. So again, we're talking about one rule, one way to use a semicolon in writing, and that way and that rule, however you're going to refer to it as, that way or that rule, is to create a pause and merge 2 relatable clauses. What are clauses? Clauses are like syllables. Clauses are like sentences. And independent clauses, specifically, that's what we're talking about here, are like complete sentences. They have a subject and a predicate, a verb, and a subject. So the sentence can basically stand on its own. It's an independent sentence. Don't need nobody else, okay? I got this by myself. I am an independent sentence. We're talking about merging 2 independent clauses, aka 2 independent sentences, and putting them together. But we have to make sure they're relatable. Make sure they're relatable. One way to do that is to use a semicolon to put right in between. Okay, in the book, I'm going to read a little bit of what I have in the book because I find it to be helpful. So why reinvent the wheel? I already wrote what I want to say, so let me just read it. It says, writers who use semicolons typically want to pause and transition into other relatable thoughts. The key word here is, again, relatable. So that's when you use a semicolon. If the independent clauses are relatable, okay? Meaning they have or they're referring to similar things. An example sentence I use in the book is, I like museums, semicolon, I visited 2 last weekend. Notice how the second part, the second independent clause, the second sentence, I didn't say museum again because I already said that in the first independent clause, the first sentence. So I just wanted to take a break, pause. So I didn't want to come to a hard stop and use the period or even use a comma because it wasn't a comma moment. It was not a comma moment. It was a semicolon moment. I used the comma and the period. I paused. It's like the California roll, the California stop rather. You and then you keep on going. It's not a hard stop. You just pause, go. So again, when you want to use a semicolon, one way that you can do that is to merge 2 relatable clauses, aka 2 relatable similar sentences, independent sentences. Keyword here, independent and relatable, okay? They can stand on their own, each of the sentences. So if you like what you've heard here, and you're like, oh, I learned something, you'll love what you see in the book. I promise you, you will get something out of the book because these are things that we may have learned in grade school that we have forgotten or we may not have learned. No judgment here, no shade, because I wrote this when I was in college in grad school rather. Post undergrad. What do they call it? Post grad? Just grad school. And I was like, what? First of all, what is a semicolon again? So I had to relearn these things. And I also researched them when I was teaching English overseas in South Korea and to students at Cal State Long Beach when I would teach ESL. So I'm not judging you is what I'm trying to say. This was fresh to me at one point, and I still have to go back and refer to my book in order to get things right, punctuationally speaking. Okay, just made that up. Anyway, guys, if you would like to support yourself by purchasing the punctuation workbook, Look Better in Writing. If you want the digital version, you can go to lookbetterinwriting.com/books. Again, that's lookbetterinwriting.com/books, lookbetterinwriting.com/books. Or you can wait for this Friday, April the 9th, 2021. It will be ready for you on Amazon. So you can buy the paperback version and write it in there. When I'm saying write it in there, I mean it's a workbook, meaning I created questions at the end of each chapter to make sure you're understanding what I am writing. So it's not just like you read the book. You read the book, you learn, you apply what you've learned. And I also have an answer key. That way you can know what you've missed or what you've gotten right. So listen, I'm a teacher at heart. That's what I do. So help me as I help you, as we help each other. Look better in writing. Guys, I will catch you in the next Writer Wednesday video. Until then, always strive to look better in writing.